It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes, but don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there's a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. Some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend of Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. Every day, everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day, everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day, everyone got to hear from Sandra.
If you're a parent right now, you already know the cost of living has gone up. Rent, childcare, groceries. When the cost of living rises, government must rise to meet it. And we have. Under the revised ECAP policy, our Early Childhood Assistance Program, we've increased funding to keep pace with what families are actually paying today for their children's early education. Who benefits? A father working every hour he can. A single mother doing it alone. A grandparent raising grandchildren they love. Maybe that's you. Up to 235 Caymanian children will benefit directly, and I want every single one of them to have the start they deserve. That is why we are here. If you've applied before and been disappointed, I encourage you to try again. If you've never applied because you assumed you wouldn't qualify, now is the time to find out. And if the funding didn't feel like enough before, it should now. Is your child 3 years old and Caymanian? You may qualify. Visit us at moeapplications.gov.ky and apply for the 2026-2027 academic year.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, folks. Happy Friday. My apologies for a little bit of a late start this morning. Morning routine goes awry when one little thing is off, but here we are nonetheless. Hope you guys are having a fantastic, and I do mean fantastic week. This is Friday. For most of us, this wraps up the work week. And then for others, We work all the time, honey child. There is no such thing as the end of the work week. Whoop, whoop. That's okay. When you love what you do, you're not going to complain, right? Right. That's right, El Clase. Are we live on Facebook? Yes, we're looking good on Facebook. Just grabbing all the linky links, and then we're going to send that out. Had a good day yesterday. Took some time off in the afternoon for some friends. We lunched, and oh, that weather yesterday. What was up with that little squally rain? Like it started and then it stopped and then it started again. And we were watching those poor people on the cruise ship and we were going, ooh, my goodness. The tenders, they're getting all wet and stuff. Ugh, no bueno. I remember when I was doing a tender back in, when was that, March in the Galapagos? Ooh, honey child, they're not as they're not the size of the ones here. But every single time that we had to get off and on the boat, because when you're in the Galapagos, you travel from island to island based on the boat, right? And every time we had to get off and on of the boat, I was just like, perhaps I'll just stay on the bigger boat. I was not about that dinghy all that much. Oh my goodness. I was like, y'all go ahead. You go do the other excursions. I'm going to just kick up my feet on the boat and get some sun, some vitamin D. But yes, it was quite an interesting excursion. Yeah. I enjoyed it, but not so much the off and on. Some people did multiple times a day because they would have different excursions, wet foot, dry foot, going diving, getting in the water, doing this, doing that. I was like, okay. I'm not that fond of small boats and potentially falling in the water. And then there were days that it was raining. You better believe it. Nobody controls the weather. So anyway, we saw them and then I had to rush to West Bay. Shout out to the Bears. And I was telling our guests in the car about the beautiful Cemetery Beach. So she was looking at it and she said, well, how do you get to the Cemetery Beach? Do you walk through the cemetery? And I said, no, there's an actual footpath on the side of Cemetery Beach. She's like, oh. I said, no, we wouldn't be disrespecting the dead by walking on top of their graves and walking through them, I don't think. But anyway, yeah, we only went as far as Cemetery Beach, like that area. Didn't get much further than that in West Bay. But typical weather in Cayman, everybody else is getting rain but West Bay. West Bay was dry. And then when you got to part of West Bay Road, all of a sudden you could see the rain started again. Isn't that funny how literally like you'll be driving on the same street and you can see the demarcation of where the rain actually starts and stops. Yeah. But I feel like West Bay doesn't get quite as much rain as everywhere else. Is that my imagination? Seems a little bit dry. Anyway, we're thankful for the rain. It is July the 24th. And I must say that it's been a relatively quiet, knock on wood, somebody, hurricane season. I'm not hearing much. Have we had any? We had a little storm this week that went to, I think, Louisiana. Nothing really in the Caribbean basin. So I'm kind of like, fingers crossed. Maybe we will have an uneventful summer, aka hurricane season. It's going to be nice and quiet. I'm praying for that. Because, I'm good. I'm good with no name storms coming this way in particular. All right, everybody should have the links now. Good morning to Olivia. We got Marshall in the house joining from the NC. North Carolina. Strong Wilt is here. Dean Sinclair. Blessings, everybody. Plain and straight. Good morning, honey chill. Beautiful Miss Stephanie Brooks is in the house. Thank you, Miss Stephanie, for my plums. I got some nice plums from Stephanie and Mike. And boy, they were so good. I shared them and they were just delicious. Nice and ripe. I don't like them overripe. I like them when they're still firm, but ripe. And they were good. So I'm all about this plum season. If you want to bring me more, just message me. You got my digits. I'm still in the mood for some plums. Morning, we was catching Los Sus from your phone call. Which phone call? A phone call. You might have to enlighten me, YouTuber. I'm not sure which phone call that was. Miss Yolene is in the house. Felicia, Sherry Ann, Island Pearl, Damaris, Lucille joining us from the UK. Beautiful, beautiful. I'll be stopping in the UK, but not for any length of time, Miss Lucille, just connecting flights. Oh, somebody said this car has been in the ditch for a couple of days. This is just after you pass Barcam. Oh my goodness, I have not noticed it. Is that when you're going into town? When you pass Barcam on that side? Oh my, no bueno. Okay. Okay, somebody's unraveling this morning as usual. Yep. We'll get to that later on in the show. I know. Yep. The day of reckoning is here for somebody, and they can't help themselves. Whoop, whoop. All right. It's a beautiful day in paradise, and I am feeling good. I'm supposed to be getting some money today. Today is the day to pay costs, according to the court. So whoever of you have been loaning certain people in Cayman Brac money, please make sure she has my money for costs for the hearing before the last one. Because yes, I'm entitled to costs for every single hearing, and I will be applying for cost for every single hearing, in addition to what other damages might be awarded. And I want my money today. Has to be paid into the court today. And if she knows what's good for her, she better pay it in the court today. Okay? I hear some of y'all in the Brac encouraging this fool. So please help her pay her court fine. If you've ever said one word of encouragement to her over this nonsense when you don't even understand it yourselves, now is your time to show your support by taking out your wallet, going online to your bank account, and sending her a donation. All right? So in the words of Rihanna, B, you better have my money. Okay. All right. What are we going to do with this 500 smackaroos? That does not even cover the cost that I've spent on this woman and her ridiculousness. But don't worry. When I get my full damages, somebody better hand me the house, the deed to the house. Then again, you can't really hand somebody a deed to a house that you don't really own, and that the bank is already going to put in foreclosure. So I guess that'll make no sense either. But anyway, moisturize, people. Moisturize your faces. I'm not a big sunscreen person, although we all should be wearing sunscreen. It's good for the skin. Darker people like myself, it helps keep away the fine lines and wrinkles and protects you from the sun rays. But I have very dry skin. So at the very minimum, I do moisturize. This is a face serum that I'm using here, infused with vitamin C and collagen. Got to keep looking young. They say that black don't crack, but I've seen some black people cracking. So protect the skin. Very, very important. And protect your hands. Your hands are also equally needing of moisture and stuff, Yeah, beautiful. All right. Yay. John LaRue. It's a beautiful day in paradise. Have you opened your CUC bill yet? One of the 4 bills I get from CUC. Y'all lucky. Most of y'all only have 1 to complain about. I have opened 3 because I don't think I've received the 4th one yet. Well, I know hubby's just going to pay that one. He's not going to stress me about that. So we going to talk about CUC again today. I mean, I know we did yesterday, but need I tell you about the truth of the matter? Okay. Let's throw out a few nuggets for you because it's not logical to me. So sometimes it's hard for me to understand how people think about this whole CUC situation. But let me sprinkle some facts on your cupcake this morning. Okay. We have multiple bits of evidence I'm going to put to you this morning. John LaRue, you done open Pandora's box. But that's okay. I like it, John. I like when you give me the opportunity to, what? You're not getting no money. You sit there. I need to check that order to see if the penal code is attached to it. But you're behind going to jail if you don't pay me my money. You think I'm joking. You and your little pussycats. Let me see here. Let's look at some of the headlines since y'all think that your situation is unique to CUC. By the way, did anybody see the headline today that, oh my goodness, Miami is now the 2nd most expensive city in the US to live in, surpassing New York and LA? I was like, what? The cost of housing has gone up 30-something%. All kind of foolishness going on in Miami. I am flabbergasted. Anyway, let's talk about electricity cost, fuel cost, and electricity. Here's one from the government of Anguilla. Their government, it says here, pays over EC $3.3 million in electricity fuel subsidy support. Okay, so some 7,925 customers across the island is going to be getting a fuel subsidy relief because this started in April for them because of their high electricity costs and the rise in fuel. Okay, article number 1. Hold on, we got more for you, honey chill. Grenada. This is Caribbean wide now. So let's have a look at the next one. Stay tuned. Let me just pull up the URL here. Right. GIS Grenada, Government of Grenada, 22 hours ago, invests $18 million in cost of living relief measures. Okay, so they're doing a targeted cost of living assistance program designed to cushion household businesses and the national economy against what? Say it, class A. Everybody in the class, repeat after me. Rising global food and energy prices. Energy prices, you say? Yes. And what did they say in this? Their finance minister, the Honorable Dennis Cornwall, emphasized this is not inflation created in Grenada. It is imported inflation. Oh, Auntie Sandy, what do you mean by imported inflation? He goes on to say, while we cannot control international markets, we can act responsibly to help reduce the impact on our people. So this is going to benefit some 38,000 households nationwide. Targeted relief to long-term fiscal stability, they say, to the tune of some $18 million. right? In addition to maintaining existing price ceilings on gasoline, diesel, kerosene, LPG cylinders through December, key measures include energy tax waiver. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, we're doing the same thing. Government waiver. So they're removing the customs service charge on diesel imported for electricity generation, thereby decreasing the consumer cost of electricity. Our government has done the exact same thing, right? Direct consumer subsidies. So apparently they subsidize electricity anyway. And now they're going to increase that. They subsidize electricity. So you mean in all these countries, electricity is also their most expensive issue? Yes. Okay. Stay with me, Class A. We're not done. They're now introducing 2 VAT-free shopping days per month, covering groceries, school supplies, hardware, and appliances from August to October. OMG. They actually pay VAT. Oh, they pay sales tax, basically. Yes. Okay, we're not done. There's more to come. Hold on. Hold on here, honey chill. Next one. Public entities SABA and SEC provide temporary relief with increasing energy tariffs. July 2026. Which country is SABA in? SABA. What's 599 area code? Oh, this is Netherlands, Caribbean Netherlands. They actually call themselves Caribbean Netherlands. Okay. All right. So same thing. Authority for Consumers and Markets determination of the maximum electricity tariff. So they're all trying to do tariff relief. The public entity SABA will provide funding to cover 50% of the tariff increase. Oh, they're not doing 100% like the government? What? And SEC will assist with mitigating the impact of the remaining 50%. So customers will continue paying the current electricity rate instead of the newly approved tariff during this period. While this measure does not reduce electricity bills below current levels, it prevents them from increasing in the coming months and provides relief for households and businesses while international energy markets remain volatile. Oh my God, why are international markets remaining volatile? Because of the war that President Trump started. Okay, we got more for you, honey child. Well, come on now, I want y'all to stay with me because I know y'all think this is about CUC. And I'm proving here this morning, article after article after article after post after post after post, this has nothing actually to do with CUC. It is the energy cost. Now, if we had solar and we could all rely on solar 100% of the time, y'all wouldn't be complaining. But solar is one of those things that's a little bit tricky. It's not 100%, okay? But even if you get 30% relief, 25%, my philosophy is take what you can get, honey child. The government or Bermuda too? No, say it's not so. Not Bermuda. Regulatory authority has updated the fuel adjustment rate for electricity bills effective the 1st of July. What? Fuel adjustment rate? You mean other countries, other electricity companies get a fuel adjustment rate and they get electricity No. You mean this problem is not unique to the Cayman Islands? No. Say it's not so. It can't be, Sandy. This is unique to us. We're the only ones who can get up every morning and complain about our electricity bills all over the world and say that we're getting robbed by our utility company. But wait, the lesson in class today is you're misguided on what is really going on here. If every single country is having these same problems and these news articles are all over the place for you to go research for yourself, I dare say something's going on here. Hear what Bermuda said, the government of Bermuda. While higher global fuel prices have driven the adjustment, the government's fuel duty has helped reduce the impact on households for them. You know, that's the same thing here. It's only $5, $10 relief. Without this relief, The fuel adjustment rate would have increased to approximately $16.46 per kilowatt hour instead of the approved 14.226 cents per kilowatt hour. Wait a minute. Bermuda? What kind of dollars we talk about Bermuda? What currency do they use? Don't they use the US dollar? Am I reading this right? $16.46 per kilowatt. That can't be right. No. That must be 16.46 cents. Yeah. Let's pick logic. Let's use some logic now. But the way they have it written, but I see what they've done. Okay. So 16, yes, for a minute, I was thinking $16. What the Ross? All right, 16 cents, 16.46 cents per kilowatt hour. That would have been for what? For June? I think that was still more than us. Not true. We weren't at 16 yet. We were at, I think we were still at 14 or 15. And it's now gone up to 22 cents. But the government is capping that for those of you who are eligible. So their Minister of Home Affairs, Honorable Alexa N.H. Lightburn, says the government chose to stand between that increase and the family bill because we want to protect Bermudians during times of global instability. Fuel relief shields households as electricity fuel adjustments rise on the 1st of July. Then she goes on to say global fuel prices rose this quarter. And the government chose to stand between the increase and the family bill. We want to protect Bermudians during times of global instability. What? They have global instability too? With fuel? Oh my God, say it's not so. We're not done. No. We're not done. We're coming. Hold on. Coming to come. There's more. There's more evidence. Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Google's going to help us. Average consumption, according to the UNFCCC, plus 4 other sources, average household electricity consumption varies across Caribbean islands, driven heavily by home size, cooling needs, and local living standards. Key regional examples include Grand Cayman, Cayman Islands, averaging about 1,158 kilowatt per month, Antigua and Barbuda, averaging roughly 250 kilowatt per month, 8.25 kilowatt per usage per day. Now, let's look at what this means. Because once again, this is where you have got to pick sense from nonsense. Okay? Y'all see what this is saying here? The average household, according to this in Cayman, is using over 11, and I think this is on the low side, to be honest. When I look at my kilowatt hours, they're lucky it was only 1,100. But let's do the math. Hold on. Let me get my little AI assistant assisting me with the difference between 1158 and 52 kilowatt hours, right? Hold on. Put on your seatbelts, class, because we gonna get down to some of this here today. What's the percentage difference between those kilowatt hours per month? All right. Because the one thing that you guys refuse to acknowledge and to accept, that in the Cayman Islands, and this is a fact, this is not speculation, this is not, oh, well, we think so, we don't really know. This is factual. In the Cayman Islands, we use more electricity than anybody else in the region. Why? You know why? Because as Caymanians would say, y'all spoilt milk, spoilt Caymanians. Y'all love electricity. We are dependent on fossil fuels. Y'all complain about, oh, I can't afford solar. It's too expensive. Okay, so you claim, but you can afford everything else that funnels your life, including the fact that we love air conditioning. Cayman's not built anymore. Our forefathers went off to sea and had it rough. And I guess we've said, look, they paid the price of whatever. We're not living like that no more. We can't live without air conditioning. The single biggest driver for all of these other countries is they do not use air conditioning in the manner in which we use it. So yes, we are spoiled. And look here, I'm going to be the first to tell you, don't be rolling up on me asking me to turn off no air conditioning, especially at night. It ain't happening. If I got to twerk to afford it, you know what I'm saying? Once it's legal and I don't have to take off no clothes, I'll twerk. I'll work 5 jobs. I'll do whatever I do to have my air conditioning working. So I am saying to you, I am perfectly happy, and maybe this is going to sound absolutely horrible, but this is the truth. I'm perfectly happy taking the label of, you know what, you're a little bit spoiled too. Yes, because I'm not living without air conditioning. When I go to certain Caribbean countries, when I go and visit Jamaica, I am miserable when you tell me that there's no air conditioning. I'm like, really? How y'all expect me to survive? What? There's no hot water? You don't have a hot water? I'm looking at these people like, what kind of primitive living is this? I'm not built for this. I can't take cold mountain showers. Heaven forbid. My husband says they wake you up properly in the morning, though, when you take a cold shower. I'm like, good for you. I'm not about that life. Caller, what say you this morning?
Morning, Sandra.
Hello, honey chill.
Hey,
Are you one of them spoiled people using all this kilowatt usage per month?
Today I am.
Look,
not growing up, but today I am.
you feel the heat. I mean, I can't even listen, Eddie. I come out of my car, right? And I walk 2 minutes from the car to another building. I'm walking and sweating. I'm like, no. I'm not doing this for long.
Exactly. Excuse me. Sorry. So I'm calling to put things in perspective, though, Sandra.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up without hot water. I grew up without AC. And 4 and 3 other brothers to the same room in bunk beds.
Yeah.
On the side of the house that was not facing the oncoming wind.
Lord.
So we grew up very, very humble beginnings.
Yes.
We as in Cayman in the past generations, and we have transitioned into a world of plenty. And not everybody had it, but the general majority. And certainly it was considered plenty when you considered what we had previously.
Mm-hmm.
And what's happening now is that it seems to be leaving us behind because our cost of living is outstripping our ability to gain, to earn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just say, in terms of comparison, comparing the Cayman Islands consumption of electricity to any other Caribbean island, you need to keep this in mind because I had a client who flew me to Jamaica once for a project that I went to do a research on.
Mm-hmm.
They told me that my hotel room would not have AC.
What?
And just like you, I said,
in the hotel room?
Yeah. And I said, excuse me, I know from you. I can talk like I'm not when I read it, but I know from you. So you give me something with AC. And she said to me, sir, let me assure you that you will be calling me for blankets. And the point I'm making is this, I certainly ended up having to call for blankets.
Mm-hmm.
Hot air rises, cool air falls.
Yeah.
Most Caribbean islands, if not all of them except ours, the more common known ones, they're all mountainous.
Yes.
And so therefore, they take advantage of the cold air coming down from the mountains. And so there, of course, you got places like Central Kingston and in the valleys there that don't have anything immediate on that side of it. But then they also have the poverty. So you got those who learn to adjust. We all adjusted with it after I went. We didn't like it, but
That's
we adjusted.
true. That's true.
Right? And then you got those who are taking advantage of the cool air and all that. So you can't, it's not necessarily fair to say that we consume more than all the other Caribbean islands. We don't have that, but we do have the modern.
But we do consume. We do consume. Yeah, but we do consume more. But you're just putting in context as perhaps why we're consuming more.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we don't. I totally agree with you. And like you said, the stats are unrefutable. But I'm saying there is a reason for everything. Don't make it. What I'm saying is, it's starting to sound like, oh, we just flippant about it. It's not that.
No,
I'm saying if everybody else had that means, they would be doing the same thing. they either A, don't have the means, or B, they have the natural environment to allow them not to consume as much. And so that's the only context I want to make sure that the perspective in which those things are put.
Yes. Yeah. No, I totally.
We are spoiled, and that is human nature for us to be spoiled if we have the means. And unfortunately, more and more of us are finding ourselves without those means. And therefore, there's where the complaints come in.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Good weekend.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it. No, I mean, listen, all fair points. I mean, the topography of different islands obviously is different. But, I'll be honest with you. There are some places that are very similar to us, low-lying and so on, that are feeling the heat just as much as we do. And they still manage and survive a little bit different than we do. But we're just, We are spoiled. And I mean, like I said, I don't take homage to that because I'm in that category as well, right? You're not putting me in no hotel without air conditioning. Like you said, maybe at night it feels a little bit differently, but the humidity factor, the feel like heat factor, especially during the day, but at night, I am miserable if I can't sleep without air conditioning and a blanket. Thank you very much, because I still have to be covered up because I feel naked if I don't have a cover over me, which is like weird as heck, but I'm telling you what it is. All right. All I'm saying is, John LaRue says he was just being facetious asking that question. Well, listen, you might be facetious asking that question, but we have every single day there are people. William Spencer Levy says he's confused. He's dying for someone to have it make sense. There are people who legitimately believe that CUC is this big bag bully stealing your electricity. They're not using it according to them, right? They're like, oh, I'm away and it's still doubling, it's still going up, and they don't understand why. And so, I'm challenging anyone to give me 6 months worth of bills so we can have a look at exactly what's going on with your usage. And I would find it very, very difficult when over 50% or at least 50% of your bill is oftentimes the fuel factor. I'm finding it really difficult to understand how you guys are not looking at the details of your bill and understanding what is actually going on. Grand Cayman's average kilowatt per month is 363.2% higher in that example than Antigua and Barbuda at 250 kilowatt. That's a difference of 980 kilowatt monthly. Grand Cayman uses about 4.6 times as much electricity. 4.6 times as much as those two countries. I think they're combined into one country, but those two islands. So we have a combination of factors here, folks. We have a combination of we are high-end users. We use it, despite what y'all think. There's no gremlin in your line that is using it for you. You use it, and you're paying a price for it, right? Somebody's asking why traffic is so bad. Does anybody know? I have no clue. All right. So yes, we're using it and you have to pay for what you use. And because of our low introduction into solar, yeah, we're going to pay. Okay. Now the BBC, let's not stop with just us as a country. Let's look at what is happening worldwide. I told you guys I'm bringing you some facts this morning. Here's one now from the BBC reporting on this. And they're saying, again, the reasons why, this is 3 days ago, UK electricity prices are so high. Now, we're not comparing apples to apples and saying that it's exactly what we're paying. But the idea that they are also struggling with high utility bills for them, just like we are struggling with high utility bills for us. It is a worldwide, if I could use the health term, pandemic. Everyone is having this issue because everyone, unfortunately, is over relying on fossil fuels. Yeah, the world doesn't have as much penetration into solar as we want. as perhaps we should in other forms. William having a little laugh at my voices this morning. But you understand what I'm saying? This is not unique to the Cayman Islands. And I get it. We're like, well, we're small enough. We should be able to solve this problem. Well, gosh darn it. We are small enough to solve a lot of problems and we still ain't there yet. We shouldn't be in the hot mess a lot of different ways and we still not there yet, despite our very small size. I'm just saying. So the UK has announced that it's going to cut VAT on domestic electricity this October from 5% to 0% in an attempt to help with the cost of living. British households are still paying more for power than many other European nations. So when they compare the UK prices within the EU, well, with the EU now because they're no longer part of the EU, but with the EU, it shows that medium use households here, that's in the UK, paid the fourth highest electricity prices in the second half of last year, including taxes, and levy on the tax, right? Levies, although the government has taken steps to reduce the bill since then. So here's their little diagram, starting with Finland, down at the bottom, price in pence per kilowatt for medium-sized domestic consumers in selected European countries. Wait a minute. The price per pence. So, I mean, okay, let's think about this for a second. So they're paying anywhere in Europe from 19 cents. I'm going to use cents instead of pence. Sorry, I can't think really in pounds, but let's just translate it in American English, okay? So they're paying anywhere from 19.64 cents up to 35.21 cents in Ireland. Damn, Ireland, what's going on? That's crazy. Wow. I need that to sink in for a minute because that sounds like a lot. Where are you people in the UK? But again, I guess because, again, most homes in the UK don't have any, you don't have any air conditioning. That's why about 3,000 of y'all already dying in Europe because with the summer heat wave and no AC, the fan not pulling that much. But here's what I also thought was crazy. So Eurostat statistics say that the medium-sized consumers use between 2,500 to 4,999 kilowatt hours of domestic electricity per year. Oh, I thought they were going to tell me that was per month because that sounded like Cayman usage. I was like, wait a minute. How on earth are they using that? Oh, that's per year. What? That's it? That's all they use per year? Lord God. They not got nothing to complain about. We're using that per month. I literally have a 4,000 kilowatt usage per month. And y'all want to blame CUC. Turn it off at the breakers for 1 week and then come back and talk to me. Anyway, they go into why our British electricity prices are so high. The cost of wholesale gas. Other countries have a different energy mix. A third of UK electricity comes from gas. More than that for us, unfortunately. So they have gas, nuclear, wind, solar, and other. Wow, France has a lot of nuclear. Really? Interesting. Honey child. Who has the most penetration for solar? Actually, funny enough, the UK has a pretty good, just based on the little bar graph, right? The UK has pretty good, they probably have still about a third, looks like, coming from solar as well. So they're not as dependent on gas as we are, for sure. Italy is more dependent on gas than anybody else on this graph. Japan says other. What is other? Where is Japan getting other from, I wonder? Wonder if it's hydro. Note other includes coal, oil, hydropower, bioenergy, and other renewables. So what is it in Japan that they're using? Is it coal or hydropower? I don't think it'd be hydropower, but I don't know. So the US has a higher share of natural gas in its electricity generation mix than the UK, about 40%. But American wholesale gas prices are considerably lower thanks to the shale gas production. Is that a word? Shale gas production boom of the past 20 years. So they're explaining why countries, have a variance. The UK is building much more electricity grid infrastructure. Really? You mean the UK isn't setting an example for us and doing more with solar? Say what? You're kidding. I mean, okay. And then they talk about the cost that makes up your electricity bill. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. And they have the breakdown there: wholesale, network, generation subsidies, miscellaneous, and VAT. Network costs are projected to increase further by 2030, adding another £48 a typical bill. Wow. So, other countries across the globe are certainly struggling. But hold on, class, students, there is more. Let me see here. Okay. This Antigua and Barbuda currently has the highest per capita consumption of electricity in all the Eastern Caribbean states, and we still beat them by 4 times, almost 5 times as much. Additionally, the country has one of the highest domestic electricity tariffs in the Caribbean region. Domestic consumption of electricity accounts for some 40% of all national consumption, and the percentage of the population not consuming energy is equivalent to 0.48%. So they have an estimated total of 30,000 households with an average household electricity consumption of 8.25 kilowatt per day, or just about 3,000 kilowatt hours a year. And I'm telling you, let me try to find out what our usage is. Okay, let me find out what it is for Cayman. Hold on. I'm going to see if this information is available. I guess I can look at my own bill and probably try to figure it out a little bit, but I also know that I am, I keep saying this, and I want to probably remind myself that maybe I'm not as high end of a user as I think. Maybe I'm more average than I believe. I'll try to get some numbers in terms of the averages for Cayman, because I feel like I use a lot only because of the size of our homes. This is the other way in which we as Caymanians are extremely spoiled. Most Caymanians, you say to them, build a smaller house, they're going to look at you with a screw face. Who you talking to, Willis? I must live in a smaller house. Are you crazy? I'm like, I need more storage for the Amazon load. I only have 1 child. I get it that some of you have more than one. But even with 1 child, I still got a 4-bedroom house. Is it 4 bedrooms? 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms, plus the office, which could have been a second. Could somebody live in this room? Probably. Oh, yeah, a bed could fit in here for sure. So this could have been 5 bedrooms. But let's call it 4 bedrooms, an office. That's 1, 2, 3. On this side, this office. And then we got a master bedroom. No, yeah, 4 bedrooms, an office, 2 other small rooms. I made 1 into a gym, 1 into a mini playroom / office for Gigi, living room space, dining room, kitchen, utility. We need a room for everything because we spoil it like that. And some of y'all, I don't like to put my AC below 76, 75. But I hear y'all telling me, oh no, that's too high. That's still too hot. Sandy, what you talking about? Menopause not hit you good yet. Like in the 60s. I'm like, in the 60s? I would be freezing with temperatures in the 60s. So maybe I'm more average than I think in terms of even my consumption and my usage. I don't know. So the average for Cayman is 40 kilowatt hours per day. What? Let me have this sink in, right? I need y'all to have a come to Jesus moment with me here today. What did I just tell y'all about the average? 8.25 for these countries, Antigua and Barbuda. And Cayman is at 40 a day. What? I'm lost. I am lost at what y'all telling me. Does anybody know Miss Neela Jennifer Catherine Jones? I think your wallet has been found. Neela, her name is Neela Jennifer. Hold on, I gotta post this up for her. Jennifer, oops, can't even spell this morning. Catherine Jones. Contact us so we can get you back your stuff, please, and thanks. 40 kilowatt hours per day. And y'all really got the nerves to complain that somebody trying to rob you? You robbing yourself. I mean, like I said, I'm not here. I'm not saying I'm not in the same boat as y'all. The only difference is I'm just going to pay it and I'm not going to complain too much. Does it make me wince? Yes. 40 times 30, that's about 1,200. And the months that have 30 days. Wow. And so I guess I'm still above our average with what I'm using. What a hot mess. I want to get some numbers, like what percentage of the households use that. But then you've got like the medium usage and the high end usage. Yep. So I see, big shout out to Shadden. Thank you so much, Shadden, for sharing your bill with us, because she definitely showed us what her usage was in the past. Let me try to see if I can do a quick analysis of this. So she used in the past billing period 3,170, which when you think about it, is still way more than what they say is the average. If the average is 40 per day, all right, let me try to figure this out. Hold on one second. So if the average kilowatt per hour, or kilowatt hour is how it's written, per day is 40, and a person uses this much in 30 days, what's their average? I mean, you just divide. So I think it's fair to say, Shadden had posted hers in a women's group because she was complaining about hers, right? So if we started to look at what Shadden actually shared, it's obvious that she is not in that average 40 per day. Let me figure out what her usage is per day. She's a bit higher. So she used 3,170 kilowatt over 30 days. Her daily average is 105.7 kilowatt hours per day. If the normal average is 40 kilowatt hours per day, she's using 65.7 kilowatt hours more than the average person in Cayman, meaning that she is 164% above average, or 2.64 times the average. I still don't believe the average is 40. I think the average is higher than 40. So let me look at my bill. I don't think I've received the one for the house yet, you know. Hold on. Let me see. CUC. And I've also noticed, and listen to me, you guys have got to start looking at your bills, not just the dollar amount. Even yesterday when we were talking to Ms. Brenda, I was asking her certain questions because I was trying to understand something about her usage, and she was just saying the total that she's paying. No, I need to understand this level of detail, which, by the way, it's all there on your bill, right? Because I was trying to figure out something in terms of her usage when she says she wasn't at home versus when she knows that she was at home. Because the bill can go up higher for different factors. It doesn't necessarily have to be the usage. And last year, I remember when we were having this conversation, because this is like Groundhog Day every summer. We all do it all over again. There are people who love to harp on electricity because that's the only time they get any real engagement on social media. So they do their posts, they, you know, whatever. And you know, the thing that boggles my mind, right? This again is where we're so duplicitous with the things that we say and we do. I see people complaining about their electricity bill and they're like, I can't afford this. And yet, based on their social media profile and lifestyle, they're traveling on a regular basis, standing in front of yachts, having regular photo shoots all over the place, right? Trying to dress in designer outfits like they just walked out of a magazine going to work. You're not even shopping at TJ Maxx, girl. And you talking about you can't afford your electricity bill? Seems to me like it's priorities. It really is a question of priorities. And if you're complaining about your electricity bill and you live in somebody else's apartment, and then I see you posting stuff about, well, you know, everybody needs to be getting solar and blah, blah, blah. Talk to your landlord. Ask your landlord why they haven't put up solar for you to help you out. I mean, I doubt they're going to be all that enthused about that type of investment when most of you stay there for a year on a lease and then you leave and they're like, why am I, you know, you just use less. How about that? But wouldn't it be great if everybody would get solar? It sounds so wonderful in principle, but yet y'all don't even want to spend the money to do so. I'm just saying. But y'all love the attention. A lot of it is about, oh, I'm going to post something and I'm going to get, 50 comments on it. And then when it comes down to, okay, let's actually look at your bill, legitimately, some of you are refusing to do it. Some people have been offered an audit at no cost to them to see what's going on in their homes by CUC or anybody else. I mean, if you have a sensible person who has the necessary experience, it doesn't have to be CUC that can give you the audit. It can be other people. I have to laugh. You behave yourself, young lady. Look at this comment. Y'all are cracking me up. Y'all not easy. This is why I don't be trying to complain because I know what I'm doing. Pot calling the kettle black. So this person says, ease up on the people who complain about CUC bills, but post their travels, etc. I feel attacked. I am sure there's so many this morning. Oh, is she talking about my post? Not true. You are not unique in that regard. Lots of people. I see you. I see all of you living your best, most fabulous lives. Oh, there was an accident. Where was this? Oh, yeah, they put in the vehicle on the little tow truck. All right, let me find out more. Morning, Sandy. Yeah, okay. All right, I can't function at all in the heat. This person said you thoroughly covered this yesterday, came out and standard of living is just higher. Yeah, but we don't want it at a we want to get our standard of living, but much cheaper. You see, that's the difference. It's just wild. Absolutely wild. All right, here's a comment. And John LaRue, I'm going to come to your healthcare question because you keep saying, I want to talk about healthcare. CS says 60% or more of all of those other Caribbean islands live in plywood, zinc roof sheds, while they probably still pitch water from the well or a river. Well, I mean, not for nothing, Sia, there is a cost, I do believe, to our standard of life. I'm just saying, right? Is it considered bougie to want a 4,000, 5,000 square foot house, backyard space, side yard space, fruit trees? You know, I got to have my mango tree for sure. And now I want a plum tree. I got to figure out where to plant it. Right? Pools. I was in a neighborhood yesterday, driving around. Yes, it's a gated community kind of neighborhood, you know, multi-million-dollar homes, fair enough. And there's some new homes. I think there's about 6 new duplexes that are being built. Every single duplex. You already seen the backyard, the dig out for the pool. You're not saying much in Cayman anymore if you have a high-end house and don't have a pool. Like even the what do you call them? The valuators. That's not their name. Is that what they're called? What are they called? The people who come to evaluation, they're called, anyway, you know who I mean. Even to them, when they come around, they are like, oh, no pool? Sucks to be you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. I understand that somebody may have found something belong to me.
Oh.
I realize that it's there because somebody called me and asked me if I lost my wallet. And I said, well, I believe I left my bag in the car, a black bag with my wallet. And I went out this morning to look and I realized it's not there. It's a burgundy Michael Kors wallet. It wasn't supposed to be in a black bag.
All right. Don't worry, girl. We got you. Just send me a WhatsApp message and I'm going to message you the number of the person who has it. Yes, he's got everything in it. Looks like driver's license, government ID, everything. Not to worry.
Okay. Any idea where they found it? Because I'm at a loss of where I would have.
I don't know.
Okay.
They didn't give me that level of detail. And to be honest, I didn't even ask. I'm just trying to get it back to you. But you can ask him that when you speak to him.
I appreciate that. So just text you on this particular.
Yeah, just WhatsApp me and then I'll forward you his number.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, my dear. Have a good one.
You too, bye.
Child, I don't be asking too many questions. Ask less. Say less. Trust me. I just want to get you your stuff back. Speaking of stuff back, there's a lady whose wallet was stolen. We're going to be posting that up here a little bit this morning. In a bar or nightclub or something. I can't quite figure out where they were. She had over $1,000 in it because she had just gotten paid. Why y'all still getting paid in cash? And why are you still walking around with that kind of cash in your wallets? Folks, y'all feeling too safe in Cayman still. $1,000? I'm not walking around with no cash on me. Sorry. If you find a wallet, half the time I don't even have a wallet, but if you find a wallet for me, you're going to be lucky if you find a little $10 in it. That's all I'm saying. Johan says, why you hating on social media? It ain't going to change. Let them people live their best lives. Hashtag bad man run Cayman. Well, bad mind run Cayman. No, I'm not hating on them. That's not the point. Johan, you always missing the forest for the trees, you know. That is not the point. That's not a point. Where's my little point video? The point is you can live your best, most fabulous life, but my eyebrow raises really high, like what's left of an eyebrow all the way up here when you are flaunting your lifestyle and then still have the nerve to talk about you can't afford your CRC bill or that you're being robbed supposedly by the electricity company. I'm just like, what's up, Doc? That can't be the case. Okay, I want to talk about something else that someone brought up yesterday. Hey, Shannon, good morning, honey child. She says, Sandra, I have tenants that are complaining about paying $168 for light and water. That's it? I rent out rooms in a house and divide both bills by the number of tenants. They're still ditching, even though I show them the articles about CUC and Water Authority have gone up on their rates. I tell them if you lived in your own apartment, you'd know reality. Girl, can I also make a suggestion? Here, you know, some of you who do this tenancy thing where you room rent, right? You've oftentimes struggled to figure out what each tenant actually owes. So you just divide it equally. And it is very possible that there might be one or two tenants. I get complaints like this all the time. People are like, Auntie, you know, I live in a shared house, but my housemate is sitting there all day long burning the AC while I'm at work. How is it fair that I pay for them? And there's really no way. But I was thinking about this recently. You know the Emporia system that I keep telling you guys about? If you had that installed, you could figure out per room what your tenants are using. And so that way, the bill will more accurately reflect usage as opposed to just splitting it in the middle between everyone. It can work. Have a think about that. YouTuber says, I've calculated the difference for solar. The amount it would cost me to install solar would equate to 10 years of CUC bills. Then you have to maintain said solar. So I'm fine paying my bill. Well, you know, you got to pick and choose, honey child. I think the thing with solar is you do see a return. You begin to see your investment, even in the small increments, on your bill. So what I have to wonder, YouTuber, I'm curious. When you say you calculated the difference for solar, right? Were you taking into consideration how much of a solar credit you could potentially be getting each month versus just, okay, this is what I would pay for it, and this is what I'm paying for my CUC bill? Because there is that factor of you're getting that reduction in your CUC bill immediately. Now, I'll be honest with you, right? When we first got solar, and now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh my God, so much time has passed. That's like almost 10 years ago now. When we first got solar, we, you know, we had to think about it as well. Does it make sense? It's a good investment. It's a good bit of money. Yeah, you know, nobody got our money sitting around. So we said, okay, let's do it. Then I realized that for the first, I don't know, year, I was constantly in a credit with CUC. Boy, that felt so good to not have to pay a CUC bill at all. The good times didn't last, honey child. But I know why. You see, this is the thing. Like, I sit down and think about, okay, what was my usage then? What were my habits and what has changed? So at the time, we had a business in Pasadena Place. So I was paying that electricity bill. Those units are not efficient, not at all. I had a corner unit, windows, heat coming in, old AC unit. I couldn't tell my landlord, you need to update this AC unit because I'm paying ridiculous. So when we left that location, I basically moved my home office to home. I moved my office to home. So now I have my equipment here, doing my show from here, server room here that has to be kept at a particular temperature 24/7. That server room stays cold. You go in there and you're like, brr, because those computers generate a lot of heat. And so my habit has changed. And I guess on the one hand, you could say, well, you went from paying 2 bills now to just paying 1 and getting the solar credit on top of it. But I'm no longer, my credit isn't that much where it's like covering the entire bill. But a credit is a credit, honey child. Let me be very clear. Sia says, because KMAT has a standard. There's a direct correlation between your income bracket and your expenses. Unfortunately, too many people go beyond what they can afford cut back on wasteful spending, and CUC won't be a problem, says Real Deal. You know what else is funny, Real Deal, is it's a psychological thing as well, right? And listen, again, I'm even thinking about myself. I would rather go spend $500 on stuff on Amazon, probably that's not even needed, versus when I see a bill come in and it's for $500, I'm just like, wow. Do I really want, what's this company? You know what I'm saying? Like, psychologically, we need to do some rewiring. We all need education about finance and budgeting and all that good stuff. Waking up, the Cayman Islands says a pool on an island. Really? Caymanians have lost the plot. Use a potable pool or go to the beach. Then you got to pay some extra expat to clean it and then complain about they're taking over your island. Waking up, I am telling you. Yep. If you don't have a pool, you ain't saying it, honey child. Johan, I'll be trying to beg Johan to make me use his pool, but he's too stingy. He's like, if you drown, I can't help you. Andrew says that must be the most expensive solar panels and battery system. They're affordable, efficient systems that give back ROI on your investment. When flat screen TVs first came out, it cost thousands. Now they have for hundreds. Well, I think now listen to me, Andrew. Don't oversimplify solar. Okay? And I'm going to tell you what my experience was. Now, this was, like I said, almost 10 years ago, probably like 9 years ago, right? But there's a lot that goes in to getting proper solar panels put up in your house. Okay? Big shout out to James Whitaker. I use his company. Can't remember the name of it now. Eco something or another. I use his company. Excellent customer service. Took months to do, by the way. This isn't an overnight installation. They come out. They first do an assessment on the house. What side of your house is getting the most sun to accommodate solar panels, and looking at the pitch of the roof, where we can fit it. What's your goal? Is your goal to completely come off the grid? Is your goal to do da-da-da-da-da? So at the time, I could not afford a battery pack because they're expensive. So I got solar, but no battery to store it. So whatever I'm using, the little sun rays coming down, I need to use that in real time. There's no storage available. Now, once I reach my financial goal of having my house mortgage free soon come, I may then say, well, I'm not paying a mortgage anymore. So let me now see what it's going to cost me to get me one of those battery packs. Child, they've probably gone up in price like everything else. I don't even know, but they were expensive 9-10 years ago. I do not know if they've come down. So no battery pack, can't store it. So it's like, use as you go along type of situation. Then they have the engineering team come in and they analyze the structure of your roof, because the last thing that they want to do is put solar panels, weight, they're not all that light, put weight on your roof, and then the first hurricane that comes, bloop, blows off your solar panels and your roof. And sure enough, as life would have it, my house roof, they said, oh, honey child, you need more hurricane straps. Even if you weren't getting solar, don't ask me how planning approved some of the things they approved, but they're like, you need more hurricane straps on this roof. So then I had to get a roofer to come in and put in more hurricane straps to make it safe for the solar panels to even go on. I'm just telling y'all what my personal experience was. And like I said, it took months. I can't remember how many months, 4 to 6 months to go through this actual process, because you got stuff at planning, has to be done to standards. You got building control unit doing their inspections, blah, 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 blah. Then when they start doing the work and installing the solar panels, one guy comes and falls through my roof in my closet. And then the company took care of it, of course. But, oh, Miss Sandy, sorry, somebody fell through your closet roof. Now we have to repair your roof, the ceiling, not the roof, but the ceiling in the house. I was like, okay, what you gonna do? Repair it. So that was repaired. Then they ordered the panels. That took a while to get here. And then when they came, they start the process. And then planning has to approve this, that, and everything, make sure it's being done properly. They have electricians that got to make sure they're, installing all the pieces that go with the solar panel. Listen, it's moving parts. And finally, before they could flip the switch, because it's still connected to the grid, CUC had to send out their inspectors and make sure that everything was good from their perspective. And they signed off on it. No problems. We're good to go. And you need to keep an eye on your solar panels to make sure that they're working, because like anything else that's man-made or just in life, sometimes they stop working. A particular panel just goes bad. So we had that issue, and I think we've replaced maybe 1 or 2 panels over the time. Right? So we get reports from the solar panels themselves, and we got to monitor that to make sure that they're actually working. So my point being, whoever made that question about cost analysis, is you do pay for it, but at the same time, Lord have mercy. Who's in my living room? Hold on. Why is all right? Good guard dog. Really? I know. Zeus is such a good dog. Okay. Zeus, it's okay. Lord have mercy. We're not gonna be able to quiet him down now. Zeus, calm down. All right, let's take a commercial break so we can make Zeus go grab the burglars in my house. Hold on, buddy. Hold on.
My name is Williamson Henson. I'm from Thurston Caicos. I just completed my hip surgery in Health City through National Health Insurance Board. I had a dirt bike accident. I hit really hard. I lost some teeth, some metal in my hands. I had metal on my right hand as well, on my left hand. Glass still remains on my knees, and I broke my socket bone, my hip bone. I broke the whole socket bone. And National Health Insurance Board gave me a call on my birthday. It made me cry, but I tried to hold my composure. It made me cry because I was waiting for 10 months. It was on a Wednesday, my birthday, and they say this Monday coming, you're going to Cayman Island to have a hip replacement surgery.
When Mr. Williamson came to us, he had a 10-month-old fracture, which was operated at some other place, where he got a fragmented acetabulum, which was into almost 4 to 5 parts, and his hip was out of his place. Also, along with that, his right leg was shorter than left one by 2.5 inches, and he has a tremendous pain and was not able to walk and stand on that leg as well.
The first surgery affected my lifestyle because certain things I could not do for myself. It was all about crutches.
We removed the implant, cleared all the tissue, we put a new socket for there, and then the hip was replaced. And also we corrected the shortening, which was almost 2.5 inches, which came back to normal.
And he actually told me hip replacements in Cayman Island, you're gonna walk the same few hours. And what made me real happy is he said it and it was done for real. I started walking like literally in 23 hours.
Yeah, it's like a complex primary revision replacement. You can see that where you need to have some implants which are really advanced in the world, which we have at Health City. We have a dual mobility cup, which is a state-of-art, newer type of an implant, which is going to be making your hip absolutely stable, more durable, and has to function absolutely like a normal person.
I'll say a big thank you, first of all, to NIB and Health City caseworker and the host from Health City for communicating and well taking care of me behind my back. It was like every time I think about something, they already on it. It was my birthday. I wasn't quite happy because I was waiting on the call to get the surgery done. But I'm happy now. It's done. I can walk. I just can't wait to get back to the kids and be like, oh, look at them. Thank you, Health City, for restarting my life with my hip replacement surgery.
What a beautiful story. All right, folks. Burglar has been attacked. We call the popo for him. We're all good. Listen, the dog doesn't know who's out there, so he's just doing his job. He's like, what? I hear some noise and some rumbling in this house, and we were the only ones who were here. Now, I'm going to show y'all what I've been doing to help with my electricity bill. It's called using a fan. And this one is a rechargeable fan, built-in battery, USB charger. I'm going to turn it on one right now. Ah, there we go. Beautiful. That's 1 degree less that I have to adjust my AC. Yep. Put that right here next to me. And I'm feeling cooler already. So now I don't have to do anything to my air conditioning. Because I was starting to feel a little bit warm. And, you know, normally I'll jump on here and lower it. Now I'm thinking, ooh, every time I lower it, that's more kilowatts. That poor AC unit is going to be overworking. So instead of having that happen, I'm just going to go with the flow of the fan. All right. John says we never use our pool, sadly. You know, John, I was thinking about the whole pool route and I figured the same thing. I don't even swim. So I was like, it's one of those things in your head you think you're going to use, and then you're having to pay monthly for somebody to maintain it. As Walkway Camp in the Cayman Islands said, yes. I said, no, that'll make no sense. That's a lot of money. Caymanian by birth is asking about a court update on the Felicity Powell case. It's an ongoing jury trial, so we will report on it on our website, but we can't talk about it. We don't want anything that is going to interfere with the case to happen. And you know, those lawyers, they just be looking for reason for postponement or to run to the judge, crying their little eyes out about, oh, CMR was talking about it. Jurors might be tempted now. So we will not be talking about it, honey chill, until after the case is over. Richard says, tell Zeus to get his own talk show. He'd be a hit, right? Oh my goodness. Andrew says not oversimplifying it. I'm aware of all the variables, maintenance and proper setup to get the maximum performance. I'm just saying, you know, everything is an investment, and most of us are spending money and depreciating assets that add no value. The other thing, Andrew, when I was talking about the pool and stuff like this, having solar panels on your house actually adds value to your home, an immediate dollar amount value. So you're improving your asset that eventually you're going to be able to own from the bank. So there's also that consideration, right? So it's not just the spend that you're looking at versus the immediate return on your CUC bill. It's I've now have a tangible asset improvement, you know, amount on my home. Like my home has gone up. I've got more equity now in my house as well. So I'm just saying, let me tell you. So yesterday, someone was also complaining about the, what do you call it? Oh, what's all this? Someone was complaining about, someone was complaining about the cost of tickets with Cayman Airways. And they're like, oh my God, the tickets are so expensive right now. And immediately I was like, you do know that that is all because of the fuel factor. There are literally airlines who are, let me just message this woman about her wallet. There are literally airlines who are cutting out routes, canceling routes completely, reducing routes, and so forth, because the fuel is killing them. Literally. Okay? The airline business is one of the worst businesses when it comes to the fuel factor. And so Cayman Airways is no exception. And they just got a subsidy from government. Was that $13 million? So they had one good month, but you know, like I said, I was still doing some clips from the interview from the finance minister. He's like, one good month does not mean that you're gonna have a profitable year. And what's happening now in the real world is that the fuel is impacting them severely. Okay, so whenever fuel prices rise, ticket prices and fuel surcharges will increase. Less profitable routes are going to be reduced or canceled. Airlines are going to operate fewer flights or use smaller, more fuel-efficient aircrafts. We don't really have a choice. We only have the MAX 8s for international flights and then the smaller ones for domestic. Cargo and baggage charges may also increase. Airline profits, if they had any, decline. Because sometimes you can't pass the higher costs on to consumers as much as you'd like. Long distance flights become especially expensive because they require more fuel and must carry the additional weight of that fuel. So the fuel price volatility, folks, that is happening at the moment is very, very difficult to budget for. Who knew? Who knew that the president who said no new wars would actually start multiple wars, and especially one with Iran? I'm just saying. Who knew? Y'all couldn't predict this. So this is a volatility in the market, in the world, right? So some airlines will use fuel hedging, which is, you know, again, CUC says where they can, they try to do that. That's where they buy fuel at an agreed price in advance. Tries to protect themselves from these sudden changes. What can airlines do? Well, I think we've done newer aircrafts already. We can't get any newer than that particular plane, pretty much. Lighter equipment, improved flight paths, and fewer empty seats. Now, the fewer empty seats part, that is something where obviously the marketing department needs to work on that and encourage you guys to fly in your national airline. You're saying here it was always expensive. Well, who told you that airlines were a cheap business to be in? Once again, as Caymanians, we are spoiled. You know, some countries way bigger than us don't have a national airline. And there's a price to pay for that. Now, I'm not saying that there's not efficiencies that could, be looked at. We need to be, of course, as lean and mean and strong as we possibly can. But to be able to have the privilege of saying that we have a national airline that comes at a price, and it is a premium price. And y'all don't appreciate it until the next Hurricane Ivan hits. And then y'all see, you see, this is why we need our own national airline, Sandy. And I'm like, okay, honey child. Andrew says the tourism industry all over the world is feeling the impact. Hotel rates, Airbnb, not just airlines, decline in visitors to destinations that are costly. Everybody got sea, sand, and sun. So how will we in the Cayman Islands be competitive? Well, I hate to tell you this, well, not really, but apparently outside of this situation, which will have a trickle-down effect, what we have seen is our tourism industry has actually been really breaking all kind of numbers, left, right, and center. So I don't know what Gary Ruddy doing in his team, but we don't have anything to complain about. Our stayovers, highest numbers ever. So, if Trump could hurry up and finally finish the war, like he claims he has the 5 times over, that'd be great. All right, Barbara says, I have an amazing fan, solar or electric charge, large fan that runs for about 6 hours in the charge, and it has one light plus 2 extra lights available to plug in. USB port also. I live on the ocean, thank God, so no need for a pool. Fan available at price right. Nice. Is it a small fan or like a bigger fan? Yeah, I've been using my larger standing fans as well. We got ceiling fans, we got standing fans. I'm trying to use as much as I can. Ken Roy says chemo raise is always expensive. Again, when you're a country of 100,000 people and you have an airline, technically 30,000 Caymanians at best, you gonna pay for the privilege. You gonna pay for that privilege, honey child. So there was a report in the news last night that people are actually staying on island and that staycation has increased this summer, even to stay in Cayman Naize. I mean, you're staycationing at local hotels and Airbnbs. I'm just saying, they don't come cheap either. I'm away next week, by the way. Next week, Thursday, I'm going on vacay. Now, I think I'm going to do my show. Let's talk about this while I have your ears. So Thursday the 30th, we go away. This is just a girls' trip this year for the birthday girls. That would be me and my daughter. So we're going to leave on the 30th and we come back on the 10th. So we have a full week from the 3rd through the 7th. I am planning, I got to pack up all my gear. I'm planning that week to still do my show. Only because I don't want y'all to suffer too much, because I go away again at the end of September for my proper vacation. That's the couple's vacation. Just Marlon and I. We go away the end of September into October. I think we're back like the 10th or something, or the 7th or something like that. So during that time, there is no show. The news continues, social media posts, everything else continues. But honey, child, hubby is like, put the phone down. Put the phone down and enjoy the vacation. And I'm like, oh, I can't put the phone down. There's news that's happening right now that's so important. Honey, chill. Okay. So to mitigate the closeness of these trips, I think next week, I'll work up until Thursday morning. I fly out of here. And then the following week, I'll continue to, this is the plan. I'll see how I feel next week. Because some days it feels so good to just sleep in and not have to get up so early in the morning. I'm not going to lie to you. But I got a job to do as well. Mm-hmm. You're going away for a month, Evelyn? You going to the UK, Genoa? Yes, sir. Okay. All right. Let me see here. The pool thing is all about real estate value. A pool highly increases property value, and many of those neighborhood developments have tenants that mandate you have pools to keep up the value of the development. Oh, do they? I didn't know that was the thing even, but yeah, okay. Can we please get off the energy talk now? I'm sick of it, says this person. Uh-huh. Yeah. All right. What else y'all want to talk about? So let's talk about a few court cases. I don't even know if y'all want to hear about my case. I mean, I don't even want to hear about my case myself. But today's a deadline in that case for the filing of documents and the paying of my fee, my costs from one of the hearings. I can tell you, Sean Wilt making me chuckle. I can tell you that she is spiraling this morning because she does not have her court papers ready. Typical of Carrie Whitaker. Okay? She's big and bold and got plenty mouth, but very low on the action. So some of you share her post with me, and she's bragging about how, the truth is gonna come out on her during the court case, and that I'm like, okay, whatever. I mean, honestly, whatever. 9 more minutes. So I'm ready for the supposed truth to come out. Yesterday, then, she was begging on social media for you guys to please help her. Can anybody help me with my defense? Like the day before? First of all, you ain't got no defense. So let's start with that premise, that fact. The child don't have no common sense because the judge has already said, I don't really think you got a defense. The first defense was, I was trying to roast her. That is not a defense in law. I suspect in her head, she thinks that certain things are a defense when it isn't. Go look up and study the law of defamation. It will tell you what the defenses are. And if you do not fall in any of those, then you don't have a defense. So all she's doing is wasting my time, wasting the court's time, with claiming that she has a defense, and then the day before begging somebody to help her file her defense. What do you mean file your defense? If you had a defense ready to file it, all you do is go online and upload it. You mean you expect someone to help you make up a defense because that's how you think this works? That is not how it works. Okay? My goodness. No, and no. You see, if the woman had a lick of sense, she would now be falling on her sword and she would have admitted that she does not have a defense. Let's just go to the hearing where, we talk about damages, because this is how it works. She filed an acknowledgement of service, and in that acknowledgement of service, she claims that she's going to defend the case. Now the deadline to do so is today, to file that said defense, right? Now she's talking about she needs, as of yesterday, somebody to help her. Today she has the deadline to pay my money through the courts, and she also has a deadline to file her defense. If you have no defense, you need to say, I don't have a defense. Let's go straight to the hearing for damages and see how we can talk about the mitigation of damages. But this woman has gone on and on in the most way. I cannot ease up on her in any way, shape, or form, because to do so, she is such a pathological liar. There are literally people who are like, but she said this. And I said, really? And y'all are still believing her? I'm like, I can go and get the order. I can show you guys what the judge said. Oh, but she has to pay you? She did a whole post on how her enemy, you, failed in getting compensation. Yes, and y'all still sitting down believing this fool. Huh? Just because she says it doesn't mean it goes so. There's so many things wrong with her, but the first one is she is a pathological liar. The judge gave me cost, okay? I don't have to sit down and lie about any of this stuff. Folks, I have more important things to do. I can assure you of that. Oh, I got to turn the fan a little bit. It's too much breeze now. I have more important things I should be doing with my time. Let me see here now. View cases. There's the case. Let me find the documents. So yes, the judge gave me, so I don't know what she's talking about. Listen, I can't keep up with the lies. It's legitimately not something that I can do. The judge, everything for 99%, the judge has found in my favor. At the last hearing, I said, listen, the court gave her deadline to file her acknowledgement of service. She hasn't done that. And she certainly hasn't filed any sort of a defense. So I'm entitled to default judgment. The judge said, he's not sure in law if you can get a default judgment. A lot of these lawyers, these judges, they've never really dealt with a case like this in the Cayman Islands even. So they're like, okay, what does the law say about this? Do you know? Sometimes he'd be asking me and I'm like, I'm not a lawyer, but section so-and-so of the Grand Court Rules says this, so we could interpret it in this way. I'll be trying to do my homework. So he basically said, I'm not going to give you the default judgment. I'm going to deny that request, give her a chance to file it. So he gave her even more time. The fact that she would dare to complain that the judiciary or this judge has not been fair to her is the biggest lie I've ever heard. Right? Because I can tell you from someone who's been on the other side, these judges are strict. He gave her an extra 2 weeks, more than that, because he gave her like 1 week to file the acknowledgement of service. And then it's 14 days from that today now would be the day that she needs to file her defense. More than ample time. Every single time we've had a court appearance and we've had to go to court, she's finding an excuse as to why it needs to be delayed. Oh, Miss Francine died. She claimed the national hero was like a second mother to her. Or her mother is sick. What was the first excuse she came up with? Oh, internet get cut off. Internet get cut off, but every day you're live streaming. Oh, the CUC cut her off. I mean, it's just one, not CUC, Island Energy, whoever. It's just one excuse after the next. I'm sick of excuses. The judge is sick of excuses. And quite frankly, she is only delaying the inevitable. Okay, so let me see now. I'm trying to find the order. Acknowledgement of service, minute of order approved. Hold on, let me see if this minute of order, if this is the one that I need. I'm gonna try to download this one. Let me see if this is it. Minute of order, view. Let me see which order this is. So this was from minutes of order, July the 8th. So yes, this is the one that has our deadline to pay. File defense by 4 p.m. on July 24th. Acknowledgement of service was by July the 10th. I mean, she just keeps getting all of these extensions, all of this stuff. Let me go back and try to find the order in relation. So while she claims that she doesn't owe me anything, I can tell you guys without a doubt that the judge has granted me cost. I'm just trying to find that actual document. Court fine, payment, default judgment, summons. I gotta find when because the judge's secretary said that they had uploaded it. What is this document? Hold on 1 second here. Okay, affidavit of service, receipts, order approved. That was May. Okay, I'm gonna just find this one. Affidavit, supplementary affidavit. That's a receipt. And I'm paying money to file every single document, by the way. Trust and believe me, court fine, payment confirmation, order, draft. Let me see if this is the one now. Because they had approved that. Let me just view it and see which order this one is. So, this was submissions and costs not exceeding 2 pages. Okay, so this one was, yep, we did that. Let me just go back to the list. I'm just trying to find it. I may have to message the court for them to make sure this document is actually there. Default judgment, court fine. Default judgment filed. Summons for directions with listing. Summons for, let me see, cost submissions. So we did that day. That was filed. And then he came back granting cost. Okay, I got to email the court to see where that is. Okay, I'm going to send them a quick email this morning. But needless to say, she does owe me costs despite whatever she's saying on her platform. I don't know why lie, because all I have to do is get the order and simply post it up. So let me just see here now. Let me just send them a quick email. It was around June the 26th or so. Indicated it had been approved and okay. All right, so we'll get that. And in case any of you need to see it, if you were actually thinking somehow that I'm the one who's lying here, feel free to reach out and I'm happy to share it. Because she better find my money today. That's all I can tell her. So let me see. Okay, so let me just see here now. All right, so folks, let me see. Good morning. I need to ask you a few questions as it relates to court system, please. I'll send you the questions later. Okay. Listen, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm always very, very hesitant about telling people how to do their own stuff. My advice always is get a lawyer. You know, I have a law degree, so I help myself. But that's fine, because if I mess up my own case, then that's on me. That's not on anybody else, right? So I know that sometimes I will not answer your questions as it relates to court. I will simply point you in the right direction. This person says, good morning. How many cats live in the house with her? Oh my God, I love cats, but cat piss is the worst thing ever. Can you imagine the smell even outside the house? Do you really want that house? Yep, I'll take it. I'll take it and disinfect it with some spray. I'm not going to stay there. And then I'll rent it out to somebody in the back, anybody but her. So, and I hear it's a decent house too, on the bluff. So, yep. YouTuber says, no disrespect, but I feel like Carrie is really mental, a bit of a multiple personality disorder. Well, I mean, listen, I'm not in a position to diagnose her as such, but I think you're onto something. I don't think it's multiple personality disorder. I think it's the narcissistic personality disorder. She's a narcissist, always wants to get her way, and she tries to manipulate and gaslight people when she doesn't. And you see that in her posts. And she also gets very, like if you notice the frequency with which she starts posting when something is happening to try to deflect from over here, it's like the social media version of gaslighting. That's what she does, right? So she can't gaslight me in person because the bitch has been blocked on my phone. It's after 9:30, folks. Don't worry, we good. So she's blocked on my phone and everything else, but she will still be like trying to repost old stuff that she's cleaned before. So she's going on and on, supposedly, oh, somebody wants to kill her. Please. If your husband didn't kill you and put hands on you while he was with you, having to live with you in your nonsense, nobody else is about to kill you. Nobody cares that much. Trust and believe me. But she's trying to make herself a victim and pull on your sympathies. And some of y'all are playing right into it. Every single time you like a post, you watch her videos, you comment, she's sitting there getting motivated off of all of that, which is really, really, unfortunate. And so bipolar, I wouldn't doubt that she's bipolar. And I think some of this behavior could be explained by her being in a manic stage. I have it on good authority that she's supposed to be taking some kind of medication for bipolarism, and she claims that she can't afford it. Now, I've never seen her beg anybody for money for medication, but I've seen her begging to pay her electricity bill, begging for feeding them damn cats and all that kind of stuff. And, you should prioritize. The priority should be your own mental health. But when somebody doesn't understand that they're actually batshit crazy and that they have mental health issues that they need to prioritize and they need to be on medication for, that's her, right? So she doesn't think there's anything wrong with her behavior. And that's a problem. So when you're on the receiving end of someone like her, who clearly has issues, it's not a good position to be in. Of course, everyone expects me to, be the sensible one. Oh, but Sandy, you're the one who's educated, and you're the one. And, I get it and I understand it. And I'm trying my best to stay above the fray. That's why I don't even really like talking about her, because it certainly does put me in a particular state of, like I want to meet her at her level. Like, listen, I hear the Obamas talking about when people go low, you go high. But sometimes I'm like, what's her name there? Cardi B. Cardi B says, did y'all see that one with Cardi B where she's like, she's being interviewed? And they were like, hold on, let me see if I can find that clip. It is so hilarious. So they're like, okay, so when you, let me see if I can find it. When they go low, yeah. So they, when they go low, Cardi B is like, no, bitch. When they go low, I am going to hell. I'm taking y'all. That's child. That'd be me. I'd be like, I must do what? Yeah, I must be the sensible one all the time. Okay. Why? Sometimes you need to drag these people and their stupidity right where they should be, in the bowels of hell. Hold on. This was such a funny video clip. I need to keep this on standby, because when y'all be testing people and, she's always going to do the right thing, go through the courses. And sometimes you feel like snatching a bitch, if you know what I mean. But you know what keeps me grounded and why I don't do it is because I'm just like, I got to find my Zen, first of all. And secondly, I'm also cognizant of she doesn't have anything to lose. You see, when somebody is as stupid as her, right? Your house already in foreclosure, bitch. Well, what is anybody going to be taking from you? Nothing. Them damn mangy cats, nobody don't want them, right? So she has nothing to lose. And when somebody has nothing to lose, they come in with a different kind of energy because they know, what are they going to do to me? That's how she feels. I actually have a reputation that I care about. I have a daughter that I care about, right? And how she's impacted. I actually have a husband that I care about. Even little Zeus. Zeus needs to maintain. Where he gone? Where is he? Child, he done gone left me. He has to maintain his standard of living around here. She's here trying to sell a 20-year-old handbag, talking about, oh, this is my bank calling me. Hold on. Hey, mama, I gotta call you back. I'm still on air. Okay, bye. Things going on. So, I have a world around me that has to function, and I have things to do, and I have people to help, and I have, she ain't got nothing. So let me remind you, in the words of Cardi B, though, I ain't gonna lie, there are days that I feel like this. Cardi?
Song outside.
Yeah, you be outside, Gil?
Yes, the lyrics to that. Well, let's go wrong for wrong. Let's go lick for lick. If I can handle that, let me see you handle this. So that song became such a song of empowerment and revenge for many people. What was your intention when you released that?
I mean, like, it is what it is. Like, it's like, all right, you won't like it.
Let's go.
If I play.
Because Michelle Obama always says, when they go low, we go high. Is that your philosophy?
No.
No.
When they go low, I take it to hell where the lava is at. The volcano erupted. That's where I take it. I don't take it high. I take it low.
Where the lava is at.
Hell.
All the way in hell.
Hot.
You,
You know.
listen, I ain't mad at that.
Yeah. Michelle, I get the positivity, but sometimes you just got to take it to hell.
Hello. I mean, don't y'all feel that sometimes with certain people? Good morning, Carla. How you doing, honey child? You taking it to hell this morning?
No negativity.
No negativity. I hear you there. I hear you there. My goodness.
I just want these like a conversation still, because I just say it out loud. Carrie's one of my little associates.
My God, poor
friend,
you.
But she's my associate.
Poor you.
And I give her right. And again, her right for whatever wrong she has done, right? But I want to he without since casting for a stone, I mean, he don't have nothing bad to say or no bones in the closet. Bring them out, but her bones out there, and she's a different kind of person to love still. You know what I mean? And I've known Carrie for donkey years, and me personally, I don't know who she has wronged, and I see a lot of things that she has done wrong, but she hasn't done me wrong for me to speak against her like that. But I wouldn't put myself in a position where she's going to do me certain things, right? But as I say, I don't want to talk about Carrie. I just want to deflect a conversation, because I see you getting bitter and bitter each time you talk, because I really feel it hurts you when you have to talk about her. Like you say, you didn't even want to talk about it, but nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
Right?
And here's the thing, caller. Let me say this, right? I understand your position. I'm not here to try and make anybody dislike this woman at all. I think everybody has to find people how they find them for themselves. And I'm not even getting into all the people that she's stolen from, all that kind of stuff. But the things that she said about me, which obviously I'm not at liberty to repeat because I can't repeat defamatory stuff about myself when I'm in the middle of suing her. It was so disgusting. Like, I'm sure if I told you what it was and what she said, you would completely understand why it's no lie when I tell you that if I was somebody like, say, my sister, or I had no better sense, I would have gotten on a plane, gone to Cayman Brac, and thumped her on her fucking head. That's the Georgetowner. You understand what I'm saying? That is the Georgetowner in me that I have to keep. That I've come too far to do something like that. So I'm not going to do it. That don't mean that in my head, I don't think about doing it. I don't think about grabbing that bitch and ending up on Mall Road myself with my own beatdown video going viral. But you see, this is what I tell people. Yeah, this is what I tell people. Yeah, no. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And this is why this is why I can talk to these young people. I can say, listen, we, even as more grown folks or bigger folks than you, we understand how sometimes you can feel a particular way, and sometimes you want to put your hands on people, but you got to think about the consequences. You have to think about the fallout of that, the impact on your life and the lives of other people.
Every reaction.
Yes.
And
so you got to maintain your cool.
I want to deflect that conversation.
All right.
I want to deflect that. Go back to the solar. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Somebody said that they stick hearing about power, but this is what affecting the world. So we want to talk about something that we can do better. We're looking at solutions. Okay, with the solar, right? You know, most people who get solar, or most of the people who have solar, even businesses, they go and get a loan or they remortgage, right?
That's true.
Solar is something kind of expensive, and that's why you say you don't have no batteries there and stuff like that. But some people do because they can afford it. Yeah. Well, as in anything that we get, we know it doesn't last forever.
Right.
Like you said, you already changed one to your panels, and each panel probably costs about $700.
Well, let me tell you something now. Let me say this. This is where, when you go with solar, you need to get a good company where that ish is under warranty. Because we've not paid anything out of pocket for any replacement panels because of the warranty. It comes with a 25-year warranty.
How long is that warranty?
25 years. So
25 years.
Make sure you get yourself a good product. Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have 25 years warranty. Anything happen, they'll repair it free of cost.
Right.
Okay. Well, okay. 25 years from now, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I pray that you're still blessed and you're still alive
Mm-hmm.
and you're healthy and everything, right?
Yep.
So 25 years from now, say a little hurricane blow through, something go bad,
Mm-hmm.
your solar system get mashed up. You gotta pay back for that, right?
All right. Hold on now. Hold on.
No,
Bo-
no.
I'm going to
Question
answer the question.
question.
No, I'm
question
going to answer it.
No.
No,
You're
I'm going to.
circumventing my.
No,
You're
I'm.
circumventing.
But how can I
I'm asking
circumvent
simple-
when you're not even here to answer
Because
yet?
I'm asking you a simple question and I need
And
a
I'm
simple
gonna
answer.
give you. I'm
I'm
gonna
trying
give
to
you
lead
the.
up to something. I'm trying to lead up to something, but you're trying
Bobo.
to direct my answer to my
No,
question.
no, Bobo. I'm gonna answer it simply for you. You never let me answer it. You didn't let me answer it yet. Here's the answer. You have house insurance, and your solar panels are covered in your health insurance. Go on. Next question.
Okay. Well, house insurance is a funny thing because my AC cost $5,000. That matched up the other day, and I had to pay out of the pocket because they told me say I don't reach my deductible. So that's foolishness. Right away.
Well,
Right away. So
yeah.
hold on. But what I'm saying, yes, solar is a luxury to some who can afford it. Yeah. So do a full system who can afford it. Because remember, as with everything, it's going to break down and going to need repairs or going to need some kind of maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Say 25 years from now, the people who have batteries today have these big batteries set up.
Mm-hmm.
The batteries do deplete after a while, especially in a hot society. That's why batteries stuff and they keep them on the cool AC and all that kind of stuff. But if you can't afford to keep your batteries on the AC, what thing can happen? So you get 20 years out of it. Where are we going to put all these batteries if everybody had solar in Cayman? They do not break down to say that they can go back to the land. They do not decompose unless it's going to leach into the water system. So what do we do with all of these batteries that do not decompose? What do we do with, say we have 50,000 homes in Cayman and 25,000 homes get these battery setups for the solar that is so great for everybody to have. 25 years from now, where do we put all of these batteries? Nobody not buying them back. 100%. What do we do about all of that?
I don't know. I mean,
That we need to think about. No, but we need to think about it.
Of course.
We need to think about that.
Well, we need to think about everything that is happening in relation to the dump and all the recyclables, not just those batteries.
No, I'm talking about solar. No, I can't do everything, but the solar thing, this is something that I've always thought about. Even with these solar, these eco cars that they have around with the batteries and stuff. These battery trays cost $10,000 and $12,000, but yet when they expire, when they go bad, where do we put them? Do we compile on our dump or on a system that we don't even have properly? It's like we are consuming, but we're not thinking about where the waste is going to go. These are the things we have to conclude also. So that's why for me now, okay, I went through all that route, went through those hills and valleys to say one thing. That's why I rather use CUC. And I don't complain about CUC. But do I think that they could do better with the pricing? Yes, I do. No, I mean, I believe they could do better with the pricing. Because a lot of shareholders in there and all this stuff that they get their millions and hundreds of $1,000s for the year, they can do better.
Which shareholders getting hundreds of thousands of dollars in a year? Let me ask you a question.
No, I can't tell you which one because we don't have a beneficial
No.
ownership and we can know that. So I can't tell you that. But they are shareholders. So the bigger shares you have, the bigger the pie you get.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, of course they're shareholders.
So you have people in there
but
who
let
have
me ask
$18
you.
billion investment into CUC. So they're getting at least $100 and some $1,000 return for the year.
Let me ask you.
Am I right or wrong?
I don't know if you're right or wrong because I don't have the information, so I can't answer that. But let me ask you a question. How much does CUC reinvest in the company of what they make? Do you know that?
A lot, because as I said,
okay.
And it's a growing company. Cayman, no, but they have to reinvest. Cayman is not stagnant. We are growing, as in population building, so they're gonna have to generate more. So for a company like that, that's the only one a monopoly. It's a monopoly. That is why they have to reinvest 24/7. As we grow, they have to grow too. So that's no excuse. As we grow as Cayman Islands, the CUC, the one distribution that we have in the Cayman that has a monopoly here, they have to grow. to
Okay,
subsidize all the growth that we're doing.
And let's stop saying that they have a monopoly, because they don't. They have a monopoly on the poles and that part of it, but they don't have a monopoly the other part, because even the bid that's now out for the solar farm, anybody can bid in that, including CUC, and there's no guarantee that CUC will be the one that's chosen. So that's not a monopoly.
But it's a monopoly because it's only one person and they have a distribution right. So it's only them can distribute, right? I cannot generate and distribute like in Cayman Islands. Only CUC can do that.
You can generate it, get solar panels.
But as I said, I cannot generate and distribute light in Cayman Islands.
To
Only
somebody
CUC
else. You can do it for
that.
yourself.
No, you're still trying to circumvent the answer. I cannot generate by using solar and selling my extra to anybody else. Only CUC.
Oh,
can do
to
that.
anybody
Let the
else.
people-
Yeah, but you're
whole
generating
range
for
of people
yourself.
know.
Yeah, but I'm saying you
So
can
you
generate it
make
for
it sound
yourself.
like it's simple, but it's not. It's not. It's not as simplified as you're trying to make it sound, Sandra.
Nobody
But like I'm saying,
nobody
I'd rather
trying to
stay
make
with
this.
CUC.
Nobody trying to make
I'd
it
rather
sound
stay with
simple.
CUC. No, I'd rather stay with CUC. I know that they're responsible for their poles, they're responsible for the generators, they're responsible for the facilities, and I still pay my percentage to keep that running at the same time. That means next 20, 30 years that my solar goes off or something goes bad, then I'm stuck with a bill that I can't afford because I have to go to get a loan to get it in the first place. And me at 70, 80, the bank don't want me to give me no loan because I'm a liability. So at that age, I don't even qualify to get the same solar panels that I had 30 years or 40 years ago. So that's my saying why most people wouldn't want to jump on that notion to say it's more effective and stuff like that because you pay anyway. Say you invest $20,000 into your home, okay? You might pay say $15,000 or $8,000 a year for light. Calculated by how much years, yeah, you save some, but you can lose in the end. So you have to maintain it. You have to maintain it. So that was my take on that.
All right.
Yeah, so it's not as easy like everybody should jump on it, you know?
Well, I mean, nothing in life is easy, so
nothing is like life.
I
Life's
mean,
not easy.
life not
Life is
easy.
not
Exactly.
Life's not easy. We have to all work towards it, but like I told a friend the other day, not everybody in this life. Okay, say people who own homes, out of the billions of people in the world, we're only like a 1%.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 8 billion people who own their homes, even have a mortgage to say you're living in their home, they're only 1%.
Mm.
Everybody else is renting or doing their own thing off grid. Otherwise, it's a luxury just to own a home. Now to own a home in Cayman Islands is becoming even more than a luxury.
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming almost an impossibility to some young people because when I look at land, a smaller piece of land, we're talking about 5,000 square foot houses. Nobody really going for that no more because I see land selling where they want almost $200,000 and it's only 0.388 of an acre, which is only 12,835 square feet. That's the land acreage. So you can only build maybe something on that. The maximum by government standards, 2,000 square feet.
Mm.
Yeah. So
all right.
The 5,000 don't work no more.
Yeah, leave me there, my dear. Appreciate it.
Okay, well, I hope I divert you for a little while off of that.
Not really, because I'm going right back to it, but appreciate it. Okay, so that was the plan to try to divert me, honey child. No. So here's one of her things that she put up that's another lie. So she says, stop her from taking what little I have and killing me and my cats. Oh my God. No one in their right mind, okay, is going to be meeting her. I know what Cardi said. And like I said, sometimes I feel like I understand Cardi. But no one is killing this mad woman or her cats. Okay. She says the RCIPS warned her about using my likeness, but no respect of the law evident again. Once again, that is a bold-faced lie. The RCIPS has never, let me be very, very clear here. The RCIPS has never contacted me about anything to do with Carrie Whitaker. So where she claims that they warned me about using her likeness, that's a lie. She needs to produce whoever at the RCIPS told her that, because they didn't. She needs to produce that evidence and post that on her page. I don't know what she's talking about. She is a bold-faced liar. How can the RCIPS tell me, right, running a media house, that in an article about an individual, we can't use a photo of that person? Are y'all crazy? That doesn't even make any logical sense. And again, unfortunately, there are people who are going to sit down and believe this nonsense. If you guys want to help her financially, that's fine. That's on you. She says, please help me pay the money tomorrow. I'm calling out for your help. I have my defense ready, but no funds to file it. File your defense. You owe me cost. You better pay that first. That's your business about finding additional money to file the defense. So she's begging you to help her with money to file the defense. No mention of the fact that she has a cost order that is due today that she needs to pay, and she better pay that cost order, because I'm not joking with her. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Sandy. Good morning, K-Man. How are
Good
you doing?
morning, honey child. I'm good.
Happy Friday.
Yes, girl. Happy Friday.
Yes. I was listening to the caller that called earlier. Not sure who he is, where he's from, K-Man. But, you know, I just want to say that as a woman, as a Pisces, that adds to it too. That contributes tremendously to it. Your astrologer sign. It has certain traits that help you, especially when it comes to anger and stuff. I've always been able to control, because I'm not a violent person. And I've always, what I am, let me say, I'm an outspoken person like yourself. I say it as it is, and I'm not liked by many persons for that. But it is what it is, and it's best for me to say it than to keep it inside. But as an individual, I have categorized my whole life the level of when I get angry with a situation, how I handle it. So I categorize my level of anger in regards to fighting. And this is what I think some people may, maybe somebody might learn from me this morning.
Yes.
I have the want to fight, meaning want to give that person an acid. I have the level of that person deserves an acid. That's level 2. And then the extreme is level 3. Yeah, that person needs an acid. No doubt about it. So my thing is does Terry really need an acid in this situation? Yes, she probably does. But you did the right thing. You did absolutely the right thing. And I say that to say, even just this week, someone that, and I call it no names, of course, but someone out there and myself, we've been having words, or I've been having words towards them or against them. And they saw me in a public forum, and they kind of stepped to me. And I took a moment and I looked at them, because I know that at that moment, I was like, yeah, they probably want me to give them an acid right now, which I can do it because of who I am, where I am, and then all of the other contributing, attributes there, children, family, all of that. Did they deserve it? Maybe a box down. But here's where it was going to go to the next level. I stood there, and it was like a stare off sort of type thing, and they realized, okay, her stare is very strong. And I'm glad they read through my stare, and they took the high road and walked away. Because had they made another step, that probably would have went to the need that acid, and you're going to get it right now, right here. Sometimes we have to be the bigger person. And the way that Kerry's going on out there, Kerry deserved an acid from me even during the election, because Kerry was up on stage. What I would say, not on stage, but in public, on TV, live TV, the old people would say blackyard in me and calling me out in memes and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, did I want to go to Kim Brack and beat her ass? Not really, but guess what? When I did go to Kim Brack, I asked for her because I was going to sit down and have a one-on-one chat with her, which she obviously wouldn't have had that with me. No, I went there to give her the same acid too. But my thing is that at some point in time, people like Kerry needs to learn. You need to bring it to a halt. You need to stop it. So if it means, and like you say, you're not taking her to court to get anything from her because she don't have anything to give you.
Exactly.
Other than hand over the 20-something pussies, that's all she got to give you. And I'm sure you don't want that.
No.
But my thing is, she needs to stop it. and
Yeah.
she thinks it's funny. She thinks it's a joke and game. She needs to stop her stupidness. You have shown her-
Until it gets serious. Then she wants to end up there crying in front of the judge. And the judge,
Exactly.
the judge not got no sympathy for her because he heard her own words. He heard her own vitriol.
Exactly. And that's when she wants to play victim and cry wolf. You should have thought of that. You should have thought of the consequences of your actions when you were doing them.
Exactly.
So, you know, like, I have no sympathy for her, really and truly. But right now, she really deserves what is she has created. What people say, like, you bed while you sleeping it. So, you know, she has to understand that. And I'm sorry, that's how it is with everybody. But just wanted to say that. You have yourself a blessed day, Kim, and you have a wonderful, safe weekend. Let's keep the roads safe.
Thank you, my dear.
All right. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, listen, folks, you know, I do have to maintain a level of you know, good sense and keep my head on my shoulders, so to speak, with this situation. But like I said, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and tell you that I have not thought about ever popping her upside her fucking head. Of course, the thought has crossed my mind, but I'm not going to do it because there's nothing with Carrie that is worth it. I remember when Nolly, may he rest in peace, went to Cayman Brack. Remember when he did his live stream and tell her, come on out, bitch, you talking shit online like she does about everybody when she's ready. But she's such a coward. That's why that Spanish one beat her ass and gave her a black and blue eye. But she's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? I am not going to put myself, let me be very, very clear. I am not going to put myself in that situation with Carrie or anybody else for that matter. The only way you would ever, I've never had a fight in my adult life, and I am 53 years old next month. The only way you will ever see me put my hands on somebody is in self-defense. If you touch me, I don't start shit. But if you ever touch me and you put your hands on me, then that's a different situation. Right? And I reckon even Carrie got better sense than that. So all this other nonsense and foolishness that she's going on with, she's a just consistent and persistent liar. That's all she does is lie. Asking you fools for donation. She says, help me beat the plaintiff again. When has she ever beaten me? Every single hearing has been in my favor. I guess she's thinking because at the last hearing, the judge said, nope, you can't get your default judgment yet, right? We got to do this, this, and this. She thinks that was her beating me. Well, it was her application while we were there, and she lost her application. But you can't argue with somebody who not right in the fucking head. Let me be very, very clear. You might as well be arguing, you know, to a wall because it's not gonna make no difference. So she's just sick in the head. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Barbara says, I'm always shocked by the complaints about CUC. Are they supposed to not make a profit? Business is business, folks. Yes, Miss Barbara. And like I said, those are Caymanians, and CUC invests a large amount of what they make right back into their infrastructure. That is why we don't have constant outages and blackouts and all this kind of foolishness. All right, Alfred, morning, honey child. Alfred says, I believe that there's a wider lesson to be learned here. Look at all the fallout Carrie's experiencing just from running her mouth. Even a fish can avoid problems just by keeping its mouth shut. You cannot be reckless with your words with impunity forever. And the problem is she constantly has done this with corporate Cayman, the Maples and Calders and them shut her down back in the day. You guys might not remember. Remember when she had her page, I am Caymanian, where are my rights? Ask yourself why that page is no longer around. Because the accounting firms hired Maples and Calder, they went after her, and it looked like she's more scared of them than she is of me, because she think I play with her, you see? This is a lack of respect that Caymanians will show their own people. When it came to it, she showed the expats respect, because when they told her to take it down, or they're going to sue her ass from now into infinity, you better believe she did it. They got an injunction, and they made her take it down, but I must treat her with a different kind of gloves. I ain't doing it just because she's a Caymanian. No, that ain't happening. She's a mad woman. Same thing with Dan Scott. He had to deal with her. It's like how many times before she actually learns a lesson, she is incapable of learning. So because she's incapable of learning, that don't mean that I'm going to stop. I'm going to deal with her. Morning, caller.
Morning, Sandra.
Morning, honey chill.
Just to kind of bounce off of what Miss Marva was saying just now and the post that I just posted. I think, you know, there's a wider, we as a community got to look at some of the things that we do, because I think the Carrie Tibbetts thing is just an egregious example of something that we do every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you hear people,
where you let people take liberties with you and you don't put them in their place?
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, if you're in a, because when you're sitting under the mango tree and you're playing your dominoes or you're in the barber shop or you're hanging out or you're in church and people like to gossip, right? But look at that big bunky one over there. Well, no wonder her man had to leave her and this and that and thing. Well, watch him over there. Well, he probably like so and this and that and this and that and thing. And it's like, as a people, as a culture, we have this thing about us that we like to gossip about people. And whether you like the person or you don't like the person or you don't get along with the person or you disagree with the person, that don't give you the right to sit down there and just make up, it's 10 o'clock now, make up shit about people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think the wider lesson to be learned here is, number one, if you don't like the person for whatever reason, don't make up shit about them. Don't gossip about them. Don't repeat things that you heard without evidence. And, you know, if somebody is saying something, especially with something serious, like involving a person's character and you hear it, at the very least, remove yourself from the situation or put them in their place.
Yeah.
Prove it.
And what
the evidence of that.
Yeah, and what we have to remember, and you know, again, I'm not at liberty to obviously say what it was that she said. Okay, so let me be very clear about that. But what she did is she made the comments on a Friday, right? Obviously,
and then got bigoted the Monday.
Right. I don't listen to her show. I don't watch the show, but people started immediately as they heard it contacting me from the Friday. I did not actually see those messages and become aware of it until someone called me. They literally picked up the phone on the Sunday and called me. They said, Sandy, there is no way that you could have heard what this woman said about you and have not yet responded. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's when I realized that other people had messaged me, right? On the Monday, I got on this same show and I fired what we call warning shots. I issued her a warning. What did she say to me? Bring it on, bitch. I'm ready for you. I have the screenshots. Okay? I'm ready for you. Yes, I'm prepared to see you in court. Now that I'm seeing her in court every time, it's a bloody excuse as to why she can't afford it, why she can't be prepared. Nobody don't want to take her case, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. It's like, come on. Seriously. Then she turned on the Tuesday after the warning and after her attitude and repeated the defamatory statements again. So anybody who thinks that I shouldn't deal with her within the remit of the law need to have their own heads checked, because it's not going to go so under no circumstances. So
I have a question for you, Sandra. Like, what are your thoughts on? Because I mean, as you're speaking, right? And I get it. You know, it was a public platform that it was made, and she was wrong for what she did, that kind of thing, right? And she did it again.
Yeah.
But you know, as listening to your story, I'm wondering how many of those people actually checked Carrie before informing me.
Say that again.
I'm wondering how many of those people that reported it to you checked Carrie as well when she said it.
Well, you know, most people are not going to respond to her because they already know the type of person that she is, because all she does is then turns around and attacks them. You know, Vanessa Scott is a perfect example of that. Something she said or did right on one of her shows, and Vanessa responded to her. And all of a sudden she went on this rampage about Vanessa. Oh, please contact me if you have any dirt on this woman and this and that. So most people not gonna fool with Carrie at all. Why talk to a wall when you know the wall not gonna move? You know what I'm saying? That's how I think most people see her. They listen and they hear the nonsense, but they're not going to engage her and try to defend anything, because here she is again telling bold-faced lies in a post 10 hours ago, just completely fabricating and making stuff up. And what she doesn't realize is this is continuing the defamation. I could turn around and file another lawsuit against her because now she's claiming that the police have warned me about using her likeness, and that is not true. The police have never contacted me about this woman. So why is she always so free with her mouth to tell lies on people? That's my problem with her. It's not about somebody said, oh, like she has an opinion on your platform and trying to hold people accountable. This has nothing to do with that. This is about a woman who is constantly lying. That's the issue. That's why it's defamatory, because it is a lie. It's not true. And nobody is showing bias, not just about the court showing bias against her. Really? Every single time I file something, I have to pay for it. Is the court showing bias against me? No, that is how the court system works. Now she's beat me. Beat me where? It's the constant lies. And, at some level, the people who follow her channel and who comment, who like her posts, although to be honest, most of the posts don't get a single like. So I think that says plenty, or a single comment. But, you guys are feeding her mental illness. You guys are feeding her continuing to do it. That's the narcissism. That's the bipolarism or whatever it is that's going on here. And this is the dangers of social media, is when people have issues and they're attention seekers, right? And we feed into that. This is, I think, the point that you're getting. We are also part and parcel of the problem. So every single person who sits down and watches her, even watching her, eggs her on. If she sees, today she's saying this about people and she's going to get 10 more views than yesterday, she thinks that's the winning formula, and that is how she's going to continue. And so, it is unfortunate, because when she gets sued, those same people who might have been there egging her on and whatever, they're not going to give her one single dime.
Well, I'll put the challenge out there for my people. If you don't engage in spreading lies and stuff like that. Yeah. No matter how you feel about people, and when you hear it, either don't engage or put the person in their place and say, well, come with evidence. It's one thing to say, I don't like Sandra, I think Sandra is this and that thing, but then to make, well, Sandra is an X and she did Y, and, and she was with Z, and when nothing goes so, no. Anyway.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you so much. This person had a laugh at Marva. They said, Marva talking about Carrie's pussy. She's a effing idiot. You're the only Towner I know who not bust somebody's ass, because even I enjoyed a good fight, Towner to the bone. Girl, my Aunt Lottie didn't raise me to fight, honey chill. I'm a Towner with a tint of, Tamponian. What call people from Tampa? Tampon? I don't even know. But, I'm a Towner with a sprinkle of Aunt Lottie all over me. She said Aunt Lottie wasn't into all that. I don't know what you call it, Damien. I don't know what this is. It's just wild. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going out there fighting people. But like I said, now, self-defense is a totally different situation. But no one has, other than my own sister, which, by the way, I should give you guys an update on that. Apparently, she's been found guilty in a court of law, because just last week, they reached out for me to provide a victim impact statement before sentencing. Remember when she tried to attack me? Oh, Lord have mercy. Y'all need Jesus. And now, she's probably get a record again. Now her US visa, because once again, following fashion, following people egging her on. I remember when that girl from the salon, her name is again, Shay egging her on to do all this stuff. And I hope now that when she can't go to the US for her million surgeries and all kind of stuff, Shay's going to be the one to help her. I'm just saying. That's why I preach this every day to you young people. Watch the company you keep. It doesn't necessarily get any better when you get older. You got people in their 50s, 60s, and beyond who just as fool and as dumb and stupid, and they will keep you down to their level if you allow them to. Do not allow them to. Rise above it, right? Rise above it. We can do better as a people. We can do better individually with our lives. It's only people like this who a big, almost 60-year-old woman got no job, no man, no chick, no child, a couple pussies that don't want her, and just miserable as she can be. And in the process, trying to make us native Caymanians all miserable along with her. And one or two moments where she has a little bit of something sensible to say, y'all think that makes her an overall sensible person. Not the case. Anyway, all I know is 4 o'clock today, the bitch better find my money. The defense is secondary. She is supposed to pay my cost for 2 hearings ago, and that is due today. Find my money and pay it into the courts, because I've requested them to send me that order so I can have it for myself. But I do have the email here. Let me just get it handy in case y'all missed it, because she was complaining about her costs and how she can't afford it because she got this $4,000 CUC bill and she has no job and this and that. You know what? All of that you should have thought about before you opened your big mouth and said such disgusting, defamatory things about me. Okay? So now you can't afford it. Now you can't pay your bills. Now you're crying down to court. Right? Let me just show you what she say about Island Energy. And she can't afford to pay $500 in 28 days. The judge made it very clear. He was not going to allow her a single day more to pay that fine. So you mess with that judge if you bright. Okay? Mess with the judge. See what she says about how, what's she say? Oh, Lord. Anyway, when the judge sent it, she keeps writing these emails. The court has basically said, both y'all, don't send us that more. We're sick and tired of the back and forth. But she sends these long emails about, I acknowledge the court's order regarding costs. I wish to inform you that I'm currently unable to pay. The judge come back and say, your inability to pay don't have nothing to do with the court. That is why you should have kept your mouth shut. If you don't have a pot to piss in, why are you going around saying things about people that are going to get you sued? Huh? That's when you think she would have better sense. See what she say here? No money. No money to pay. Order due to no financial means. I respectfully request consideration of my circumstances. I'm asking either for time to pay, a payment plan, or any alternative relief the court may deem appropriate regarding the court's order for cost. I'm writing to urgently request a payment plan. Due to my current financial situation, which includes no active income and maxed out credit card limits, it is not possible for me to provide the full payment of CI $585 within the 28-day window. I'm currently struggling to meet basic living costs. See attached a utility bill that I'm struggling to get caught up, and I'm in significant debt. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had to grab a call. I'm in significant debt, she says. Let me see here. I'm in significant debt. Struggling to pay. Okay, right. I'm going through a divorce as my spouse abandoned me. You guys remember what she said about that spouse in the past. And the matrimonial home months ago. Prior to that, he helped to pay some of the costs, but no longer does. However, in sharing this, I trust the plaintiff will not broadcast this. Okay. And yet she does it every day in her platform. I respectfully ask the court to allow me to spread the payment over 6 to 8 months. She wants 6 to 8 months to pay $585. Y'all understand that? Somebody do the math. How much would that be per month? This would allow me to fulfill my obligation without further compromising my ability to care for my dependents. She says plural, who are my 89-year-old mother and animals. The courts don't consider those animals a dependent. Then she says she only has $50 to her name to buy groceries for the next 2 weeks and blah, 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 blah. Needless to say, the judge said, you got 28 days. Figure it out. You got 28 days to pay. That's what the judge came back and said. Okay, so today's the deadline. Strong-willed. Yeah, she keeps talking about those houses in Cayman Brac. She might want to go visit one now and see how they can help her out. Damien says that phrase, "Don't let your mouth write a check that your ass can't cash." That right there. Strong-willed, I don't know. What's in the cards. I guess somebody will update me. They didn't even call me to come, so I don't know how it happened or whatever. Never outright held Carrie accountable. That's right. Nobody does until somebody does. And then you can't handle it. All right, beautiful folks, I'm out of here. It is Friday. And we are out of here. See you guys on Monday. And then next week, like I said, is a short week, Monday to Thursday. I need to double check to make sure we're going to have a show on Thursday, but I think we're good for Thursday. And then that's it. And then next week after that, I think I'm going to do a show. I'll update you guys next week and we are good to go. Have a beautiful day, folks. Have a good weekend. Please be safe on the roadways. See you guys on Monday.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.